Based on the title of today's hearing, one might think that America's wealthiest taxpayers are just robbing or constantly shortchanging the U.S. Treasury. This is exaggerated, and it's ultimately inaccurate. It's a disingenuous claim that's used as justification for pursuing a historic expansion of federal spending and a radical redistributive economic policy agenda that would make FDR and LBJ blush. Now, let's be clear. For obvious good reason, tax evasion is very much illegal under our federal tax code. It's illegal, it's wrong, and it's to be discouraged and punished whenever it's found. Many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle frequently conflate, perhaps knowingly, perhaps not, illegal tax evasion, which has a technical meaning under the law, with legal measures that taxpayers may use legally to reduce their tax liability. There is a difference between those two things, and those things matter. And by all means, we should debate whether some of these tax expenditures, such as the SALT deduction, ought to exist and to what extent they ought to be recognized. And instead, many in today's Congress and in this administration have called for confiscatory tax policies that are either unconstitutional, such as the wealth tax, or unjustifiable and extremely complex proposals that seek to tax gains that have not yet been realized as income. Those, I would add, are almost certainly unconstitutional themselves. So when it comes to so-called tax fairness, it's definitely worth remembering. The U.S. tax code has been and continues to be undeniably very progressive. Let's look at the most recent Treasury Office of Tax Analysis estimates on the national individual tax burden. Those show us a few things. They show us, for example, that the top 1% of U.S. taxpayers earned roughly 20% of all income nationally, and while earning roughly 20% of all income nationally, paid 42% of total federal income taxes. So this group's average federal income tax rate was 22%. The bottom 50%, on the other hand, earned 14% of all income nationally and paid negative 5.5% of total federal income taxes. This group's average federal income tax rate was negative 6.3%, meaning net federal tax burdens on average are actually negative for the lower half of American taxpayers by household income. In other words, they're getting more back through refundable tax credits than what they pay in. If this isn't evidence of an overwhelmingly progressive federal tax system currently in place, I don't know what would be. I don't know how it could be more progressive than that within our system.
Dear friends, action needs to be taken. A government shutdown in 11 days could make Social Security, Medicare, and SNAP recipient struggles even worse. Many advocacy groups are warning against possible solutions that House Speaker Mike Johnson has proposed to prevent a government shutdown. Benefit amounts may start to decrease in the near future. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the details. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. Every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. In one of his first moves after being elected House Speaker, Mike Johnson promised to form a bipartisan debt commission to tackle what he termed the greatest threat to our national security. The announcement sent shivers down the spines of advocates for Medicare and Social Security. That is because when Mike Johnson chaired the Republican Study Committee a few years ago, the conservative group called for a variety of changes to the entitlement programs that it argued would save them from insolvency. And the House Speaker now intends to address the ballooning spending on Medicare and Social Security as part of the debt commission. However, advocates contend the committee's proposals are veiled attempts to cut benefits by raising the retirement age and making the benefits less generous, among other changes. It is true that Medicare and Social Security are in financial trouble, and the nation's debt is on unsustainable trajectory. But solving these fiscal woes would likely require such difficult decisions that lawmakers are loath to deal with them. Social Security will not be able to pay full benefits in 2034 if Congress does not act soon. And this is according to its most recent trustees' annual report. In 2034, the fund's reserves will be depleted, and the program's continuing income will only cover 80% of benefits that are owed. Medicare is in a more critical financial condition. Its hospital insurance trust fund, known as Medicare Part A, will be able to pay scheduled benefits in full only until the year 2031. By that time, Medicare will only be able to cover 89% of total scheduled benefits. Meanwhile, the nation's debt is projected to grow by $22.1 trillion to $46.7 trillion by the end of fiscal year 2033. And this is according to the Congressional Budget Office. The debt is projected to rise to a record 107% of gross domestic product by fiscal year 2028. Spending on Medicare and Social Security is projected to increase as the nation ages, putting more pressure on Congress to address the programs. The Republican Study Committee has long advocated making major changes to the entitlement programs. Its fiscal year 2020 budget plan, which was issued when Mike Johnson helmed the group, included a number of controversial proposals. It called for raising the full retirement age to 69 years old. That would be up from 67 years old, and the early retirement age to 64 instead of 62 years old. It would shift the inflation index that's used to determine the cost of living adjustment, so the annual increases would grow more slowly. And it would also stop providing the adjustments to retirees whose annual incomes exceed $85,000 or $170,000 per couple. Plus, the committee would overhaul the benefits formula for new retirees to slow the rate of growth for those who had higher earnings, while also expanding benefits for those with lower earnings. As for Medicare, the group would raise the eligibility age to match that of Social Security's full retirement age and then index it to life expectancy. It would increase premiums and provide what is called premium support, which critics deride as vouchers to allow enrollees to buy private health insurance plans. These changes, among others, would cut spending on Social Security by $756 billion over a decade, and on Medicare by $1.9 trillion. A government shutdown is once again looming, and it's threatening an already precarious return to repayment for student loan borrowers. Our government is set to run out of funding on November 17th, and it's up to lawmakers to find a solution, enough that people can agree on, to keep Washington, D.C. from running. Shutdown implications could be severe for all Americans. Thousands of federal workers may be furloughed, meaning that Americans could face delays with customer service in programs like Social Security, along with student loan repayment assistance. But even before federal student loan payments officially resumed in October, borrowers were experiencing severe delays getting help from their student loan servicers due to hours-long hold times and issues processing paperwork. Well, my awesome and most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Dear friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. To say thank you, every Friday I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.